morning, dear learners. I welcome you all to yet another math online class. In today's session, we shall discuss the perimeter and also we will start the area, a new topic, area. So let's get started. First, we will discuss the remaining problems in exercise 10.1. Then we will move on to next topic, that is area. So let's solve the 17th question. Avneet buys 9 square paving slabs, each with side of half meter. He lays them in the form of a square. So first sub question is, what is the perimeter of his arrangement? So here each side measures half meter. So let us count the number of sides the tile has. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there are 12 edges are there. Each measures half meter. So we know that perimeter is the length of the boundary, length of the edges. So we count the total number of edges. So 12 times halves. We know each tile measures half meter. So these are half meters. Okay, so there are 12 half meters are there. By getting them together, we will get the perimeter of the shape. So 12 times half, we know that 2 and 12, 6 times. So we will get the the perimeter as 6 meter. So 6 meter is the perimeter of this arrangement. Then second question, another person, Shari, does not like his arrangement. She gets him to lay them out like the perimeter of her arrangement. She made another form with using the same number of tiles. So we have to find the perimeter of this arrangement. So what we do, the same way we will count the number of edges. See, this edges we will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So there are 20 edges are there. So there are 20 edges of each having half meter. 20 edges each having half meter. So what is the perimeter? 20 times half meter. So 2 and 20, 10 times. So finally we get 10 meter as the perimeter of this particular cross arrangement. So this is how we calculate the perimeter. If a figure is given in a square sheet, square form, we will count the number. So in this problem, it is given that the side measure is half meter. So each edge we count, each side we count half. For the first arrangement in this square, there were 12 edges were there, each measuring half meter. So we get the perimeter to be 6 meter. In the second arrangement, cross-like arrangement, there were 20 edges, each having half meter side measure. So by taking them together, we got 10 meter as the perimeter of this. Next, which has greater perimeter? Which arrangement has greater perimeter? So cross-like arrangement has greater perimeter. So cross-like arrangement has more perimeter than the other one. Now next one, Avneet wonders if there is a way of getting an even greater perimeter. Can you find a way of doing this? The paving slab must meet along complete edges, that is, they cannot be broken. So you have to form a different shape, which is a different shape by which you have to get greater perimeter. So you think about this and you can make a shape, and the edges shouldn't be half. You have to take full edges. So that is your part, you have to do it. So let us move on to the next topic, area. So what is area? The amount of surface enclosed by a closed figure is called its area. So how much surface a shape takes, that is called its area. Here you can see some shapes. So A and B, first set A and B, you can see two circles. By looking at them, we can find that B has greater area. B has enclosed more area than A. So figure B has more area. Now see the next set of figures. Two rectangles are there. One is small, one is bigger. So by looking at the figure, we find that B has more area. Then similarly, the third set, two stars are there, and we can say that the second one has more area than the first one. But it is not always possible to compare them by the figures, because here two figures are there. These two figures are not, we cannot predict as we predicted the areas of these figures, because these figures are different shapes. Then how do we, this comparison, this we can say, we didn't say exact how much area each figure has. This is our prediction and it is correct, but we are not able to say how much exact area each figure has. But this two sets of figures, by looking at them, we cannot judge which figure has more area. So in this situation, we adopt a method. What we do is that we place the shape into a square sheet which has squares, each square measuring 1 into 1 unit side measuring squares. We place them in a graph sheet or a paper which has squares that measures the side 1 into 1. Then we will count. So according to this, here you can see some steps. So then we count full squares. How many full squares are there? So we count the full squares. So we find that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there are 11 full squares are there. So we write towards that, we write 11. So 11 full squares are there. Then half filled squares. How many half filled squares are there? So we count that 1, 2, 3. So we get 3 half filled squares. So we get 3 half filled squares. Then more than half filled squares. So by counting it, we get around 7 half filled squares will be there. So you will write 7 half filled squares. Less than half filled squares. Less than half filled, you will find that you can count, by looking at that you can count, there will have 5 half filled squares. Then last we have to write the area. Full filled squares, here full filled squares 11 are there. So we write it as 11 plus next half filled squares. So 3 halves. So 3 halves means it is 1 and half. 3 halves, you know that half plus half plus half. So 2 halves makes 1, then remaining half. So 3 halves makes 1 and half plus then more than half is taken as full filled squares. So we write more than half as like full. So then next one, less than half filled. Less than half filled we neglect. We won't take less than half filled squares. So total how much we get? 11 plus 7. So let us take 11 plus 7, 18. 18 plus 1 and half is 19 and half. So total 19 and half square unit. 19 and half square unit is the area of this particular shape. Let us take another example. Here you can see another figure on a graph sheet, on a square sheet, and here only full filled squares and half filled squares are there. So it is easy to find its area. So first of all, let us take the number of full filled squares. So what are they? 1, 2, 3. So there are 3 full filled squares are there. So we write 3. Then half filled squares. How many half filled squares are there? 1, 2 and 3. So 3 half filled squares are there. So we write 3. 3 means, you know, 3 times half. Half plus half plus half. Then 2 halves makes 1. Then remaining 1 half is there. So full filled squares we write as it is, plus 3 halves is 1 and half. So what is the total area of this shape? The shape has 3 plus 1 and half. 3 plus 1 and half is 4 half. So 4 half square unit is the area of this shape. Moving on to the next diagram here. The another diagram is there. So this, it is placed on a square sheet and we have to follow these steps. Full filled squares. How many full filled squares do you find there? So only one full filled figure of square is there. So we write 1. Then how many half filled? No half filled, so we write 0. Then more than half filled, there are 7 squares. Then you will find less than half filled, 9 squares you will find. Then total area, full filled squares we write 1 plus half filled is not there. More than half filled there are 7 are there, so we write 7. Less than half 9, so we don't need to mention that, so you can write 0 itself. So what is the area of the shape? 1 plus 7, 8. So 8 square unit. 8 square unit is the area of this shape, area of this leaf. Let us move on to the next one. Next figure, you can see some figures. It is these figures, finding the area of these figures, it is quite easy. Only some figures have full squares, and full squares and half squares are there. So it is easy for us to calculate the area of this given shapes. So first one, A. So what is the area? Only full squares are there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the area is 9 square units. So 9 square unit is the area of this shape. Then let us move on to the next shape, shape B. For shape B, it is a cross-like figure. So how only full squares are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the area of this shape is 5 square unit. 5 square unit is the area. Then let us do a few more. Figure C. Figure C, how does it look like? It has full squares as well as half squares. So C, number of full squares 1, 2. So 2 full squares are there. So 2 plus, then number of half squares 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 half squares are there. 4 half means half of 4 is 2. So 4 half means 2 full squares. So 2 plus 2, 4. 4 square unit is the area of the figure C. Now let us go for next one. So the area of D, only full squares 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the area of D is 8 square unit. Now C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 squares are there. So the area of this shape is 10 square units. Now the next one, 1, 2, 2 full squares. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 half squares. So 2 plus half of 4 is 2. So 2 plus 2, 4 square unit. Then similarly you can calculate this area of this given shapes. Then next, this is, you have to calculate, there are full squares are there, then half squares are there, more than half squares are there. So you may calculate all this, then after add them together, then find the area of the shape. So I hope it helpful. Thank you all of you. Have a great day ahead.